So where do you go after you win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania? Easy. You have to defend it. And it was Backlash that year. It was interesting because the promo for that were always cool. It was, to the victor goes the spoils, but from the defeated comes the backlash. He goes against Edge that year, and again, he puts him in the Hell's Gate submission, and Edge ends up spitting up blood. And he has to be taken out on the stretcher. Really cool in a way that you can do the sort of violent stuff. This was right before the beginning of the PG era. You do the violent stuff. You could be brutal, but you don't need like buckets of blood. You just need to have you can use only a little bit of blood and just let how they could sell it well. Unfortunately, this caused The Undertaker to be stripped of the World Heavyweight Championship after they banned the move that had not been named yet. It ended up becoming the Hell's Gate. And then he continues rivalry with Edge. Hey, have a match at Judgment Day, but it ended in Undertaker winning the match by countout. But Vicky Guerrero comes out and says, "Yeah, you can't win the title on the countout." So yeah, it's still vacant. Then at the Extreme Rules that year, TLC match, and if the Undertaker lost, he would be he'd be fired. And it says that's a kind of a cliche I'm kind of tired of, to be honest. But Undertaker loses the match against Edge after getting sent through 4 tables. He's gone for a while, and then Edge, the whole story with Edge and Vicky getting jealous of what Edge had done, cheating on her, and then she reinstates the Undertaker as payback, and then they have a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam, which was really interesting, especially the build up to it with Edge losing his mind, the Hell in a Cell consuming him. It was really cool to see how demented he could be, and how they did the whole build up was really cool. The match was good, and Undertaker did a lot of stuff, a lot of Edge's moves, the spear, hitting him with the camera, and doing the concerto, and before giving him the tombstone to win the match. And then after the match, you see Edge, moving a little bit, and he comes and throws him off the ladder and through the ring, and then he sets the hole on fire. Just really symbolically send him to hell, and that was really interesting to see. Then when he tries to attack Vicky Guerrero, she enlists the Big Show to help her, and they have a couple of matches. The first match, the Big Show defeats the Undertaker pretty handily. Their next match is a Last Man Standing match at Cyber Sunday. The Undertaker gets beaten up pretty badly. He fights back resiliently, and then around the Big Show is about to hit him with another knockout punch. The Undertaker pulls him in, gives him the Hell's Gate submission, and ends up beating the Big Show by knocking him out and getting to his feet before the 10 count. Then they have the match, a steel cage match on SmackDown, and just as the Undertaker is about to be chokeslammed by the Big Show, he gets him again in the Hell's Gate submission, causing the Big Show to tap out and winning the match. So after that, we don't really see too much of the Undertaker's rivalry. 2009 Royal Rumble, he's in it. Pretty cool. It was a really cool Rumble. I did think it was kind of funny. He kicked the Big Show over the top rope. Big Show holds onto the rope and then prevents himself from getting eliminated. Taker's just like, damn it! But then, Undertaker gets eliminated. But before that, he has a little run-in with Shawn Michaels, where he tells Shawn Michaels, sometimes it's hell getting to heaven. Right before Shawn Michaels, cost JBL the World Heavyweight Championship, and Shawn Michaels does a deal with JBL where he has to work for him, but he earns the money from JBL to pay back his debts. That was a whole storyline I didn't really know too well. I didn't like it too much, to be honest. I'm back into it after 2007. I'm really getting back into wrestling again, watching it whenever I can. And 2009, you have The Undertaker. People wanting to be the one to go up against The Undertaker. And Shawn Michaels wins the honor to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I remember Jerry Lawler had a great line. Is like, "Congratulations, Shawn. You get to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania. The bad news is, you get to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania." And that rivalry was so good because, and this is a theory I had alluded to before, you give people a little taste of it at 2007. I think they had this whole thing planned out for them to face each other at WrestleMania 25. WrestleMania 25th anniversary, you wanted to do something big. And so you wanted to get two of your biggest names in the WWE's history, especially the last 20 years or so, to face each other. How do you do that? You gotta set up the rivalry. Give the people a little taste of it, little hors d'oeuvre, a little appetizer. Sorry, do a little hors d'oeuvre at 2007 Royal Rumble. Let them go out for 5 or 6 minutes. Then at 2008 Royal Rumble, you give them another taste of it, a little snack of it. At that Royal Rumble, they go out for another like 4 or 5 minutes. You had a couple people interfere, get into the match, but they get eliminated quickly, and then they get back. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels get back at it. Then in 2009, you give us the goods. You give us the main course. And it was a fantastic match. The only down part of it was when the Undertaker jumped over the top rope. Shawn Michaels was out of position, and the cameraman he tried to push the Undertaker was out of position. And I think even the Undertaker didn't jump completely over the top rope as well as he could have. And that was the only low point in that match, but other than that, it was just one giant emotional roller coaster. 5-star match all around. If you don't think it's a 5-star match, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So after WrestleMania 25, we don't see The Undertaker all that much. Then, after CM Punk retains his championship against Jeff Hardy on SmackDown and eliminates Jeff Hardy from the WWE, Jeff Hardy's going to leave anyways. Undertaker shows up. He has his rivalry with CM Punk. The first match is at Breaking Point. It was supposed to be a submission match. Undertaker puts him in the Hell's Gate. CM Punk taps out. But then Teddy Long comes in because he's worried about losing his job after Vince McMahon kept on warning him about, you're on probation, don't make me fire you, and all that. He restarts him and said, no, that move was banned. Or you can't use that move. And then CM Punk puts him in the Anaconda choke, on Anaconda Vice, and the referee rings the bell without the Undertaker tapping out. And that was a redo of the Montreal Screwjob. They were in Montreal as well. So, yeah, a remix of the Montreal Screwjob, which leads into his match against CM Punk at Hell in a Cell that year. And that was the first time that the title had ever changed hands inside Hell in a Cell. Good Hell in a Cell match. CM Punk may be one of the best in the world, and that match showed the two of them have good chemistry together, and that it was a good match, and The Undertaker emerges victorious, 7-time World Heavyweight Champion. And his matches after that were pretty good. I liked his matches. He had some good matches against Batista. He had a Fatal 4-Way with Batista, CM Punk, and Rey Mysterio, and that was a cool match to see. He had a match against Batista, chairs match, which, Teddy Long it said in the match, I'm not going to let you get away with getting a low blow in and try to take the title that way. He restarts the match, and The Undertaker tombstones him, wins the match. The Undertaker has a good match in that period. Royal Rumble that year, 2010, against Rey Mysterio, good match. he ends up getting a bloody nose because of Rey Mysterio's, knee brace, which he needs. But unfortunately, his last title defense. Well, let me back up. Before the Royal Rumble, Shawn Michaels desperately. Remember I said obsession? He's obsessed with the Undertaker streak. He has to be the one to beat it. He has to be the one to end the streak. And so he challenges the Undertaker to a match. And the Undertaker says no. And Shawn said, alright, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. And I'm going to challenge you at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. The Undertaker retains the title, but Shawn Michaels fails to win the Royal Rumble that year. And then the Undertaker, unfortunately, his last title defense did not go well at the very beginning, because that's the match he got set on fire. I remember watching that live. It was like, holy crap, what the hell happened? And then and Michael Cole tries to play it off like, oh, he's not even waiting, he's throwing his coat off already. It's like, no, that's not the Undertaker. He always does it slow, methodical. And they find out later, yeah, he got burned. And I kind of figured he was burned because of that. As soon as he threw his coat off, he must have been burned. And sure enough, he was burned. And he still did the match. He probably has a severe burning, first or second degree burns at least. And you see him doing the match. And then, Shawn Michaels costs him the match, super kicks him. Jericho walks out with the World Heavyweight Championship. And then the next night on Raw, Undertaker says, okay, you wanted my attention, now you've got it. And they set up the match. They said, and Undertaker tells him, this year won't be enough. You have to put up something too. They said, if I beat you, your career is over. And I remember I watched this one live, and my brothers and I was like, wait, what's WWE going to do? I mean, do they end the streak, or does Shawn Michaels retire? I mean, we didn't really think Shawn Michaels was going to retire anyways, but that match at WrestleMania 26, it was a thing of beauty, because the desperation of Shawn Michaels wanting to be the one to beat the Undertaker, the tenacity of both men, the back and forth, the emotions in this match made it a little bit better, I think, than the WrestleMania 25 match. And in the end, when you had the Undertaker doing this and stopping and telling Shawn Michaels, stay down, and Shawn was refusing and slaps him across the face, pissing off the Undertaker, and he does a jumping tombstone, the third of the match, ending Shawn Michaels' career. And honest to God, I saw people crying when Shawn Michaels was leaving. And, Undertaker picks him up. They talk a little bit. Of course, you can't hear what they're saying to each other. He hugs him in the middle of the ring, and then leaves Shawn Michaels to, soak up the appreciation of the crowd. And as he walks to the back, and that was very emotional. If I had the ability to cry, I might have, but it was like, it's over. I can't believe it. Shawn Michaels' career is over, and to his credit, Shawn Michaels' career is over. He has not wrestled anywhere since. He has made appearances for WWE. He has done, guest hosts, things like that. But he has not wrestled a single match since his retirement. So that's a true retirement, and the best retirement I have seen in wrestling. So after that, you have The Undertaker in a match with some months later, he has a match with Rey Mysterio. He wins the match, going to be in the fatal four-way match for the World Heavyweight Championship. But he gets injured in the match by Rey Mysterio. I think he broke his orbital bone. But in order to write him off, they said that he was attacked and put in a vegetative state. And I thought that was kind of dumb. You could have said he was attacked and that was it. You didn't see him put him in a vegetative state. It kind of weakens him. But after Kane wins the World Heavyweight Championship, and at SummerSlam 2010, Undertaker comes back, but he's like a shell of his former self. He's weakened. Kane overpowers him, tombstones him at SummerSlam, and then at Night of Champions, when they have their match, Kane dominates him through the match, and and they play off the Undertaker is weak. And then you have Paul Bearer come back, recharge the Undertaker in a sense. He comes back in the urn at Hell in a Cell. They had the match, and then Paul Bearer betrays the Undertaker, and then Kane chokeslams him, retains the title. But then at the next pay-per-view, Nexus interferes in the Buried Alive match with the Undertaker and Kane, costing the Undertaker the title. He gets buried alive, and we don't see him until after Elimination Chamber. Now, the matches with Kane were okay, but you could tell age had caught up to both men. They weren't as good as their previous matches, to be perfectly honest. And even their matches in 2008 on SmackDown, when they were both champions, that was definitely a better match than what we got from them in 2010, unfortunately. Alright, so after being buried alive, The Undertaker is going to come back, but against who? Who's he facing? Now that his career is basically now at one match a year following his stint in 2010, where do we go from here? That's where the last part, next part will be the last. And I'm going to talk about his last matches and where do we go from here after it happened. So, that's all I've got for this video. We're almost at the end. It's a long journey, isn't it? Until then, take care.